Minsu arrived at the art studio in high spirits and found Wubin waiting for her. As soon as she stepped in, Wubin informed her that she was 5 minutes late. Surprised by his remark, Minsu asked if he was okay. Wubin had never scolded her before, and this time, he seemed unusually serious and professional. Without hesitation, he told her that she was falling behind on some legal documents he had previously asked her to submit. He added that he needed them before the end of the workday and walked away without further explanation. Minsu watched him go, wondering if something was wrong, as he didn't seem like himself at all. That night, Sonjin went to visit his father, who had recently been released from the hospital. Sitting next to him, he handed him a bowl of soup the maid had prepared and urged him to eat more to regain his strength. His father, still upset, refused to look at him. Wanting to avoid adding to his stress, Sonjin reassured him that he would work harder to pull their company out of its current crisis. He insisted that a business marriage was not the answer if they could find another way to resolve their problems. His father remained silent, unwilling to engage in the conversation. Sonjin continued, explaining that he had built strong relationships with other stakeholders and planned to seek their assistance while also strengthening existing business collaborations. Finally, his father responded, questioning what made Sonjin believe he could succeed where others had failed. Determined, Sonjin assured him that he was willing to work day and night and refused to take no for an answer. He urged his father to trust him and apologized for neglecting his family's needs in favor of his personal desires. Promising to use this opportunity to make things right, he reminded his father to eat well and get plenty of rest before standing up and leaving the room. In the following days, Sonjin worked relentlessly. He attended numerous board meetings, went on frequent business trips, and often worked late into the night. Most of his time was spent either at work or traveling abroad. As the weeks passed, it became increasingly difficult for Minsu to see him. The only messages she received from him were brief good-night texts. She missed him terribly and longed to see him, but she understood that he was working hard so they could finally be together. The only glimpses she caught of him were through news reports. One evening after work, Minsu went to Wubin's office and invited him out for food or drinks. Without looking at her, Wubin declined, explaining that he had too much work to do. Noticing how much he had changed, Minsu asked if he was okay. Still avoiding eye contact, Wubin simply reiterated that he had a lot to do and suggested they maintain a strictly professional relationship. He explained that he didn't want to lose focus on his work. Disappointed but understanding, Minsu agreed and left his office. She had just wanted someone to talk to, especially since reaching Sonjin had become so difficult. Deciding to go out alone, she headed to a restaurant and ordered food and drinks. She kept glancing at her phone, hoping for a call or a message from Sonjin. When she tried calling him, his phone was unreachable, making her assume that he was out of the country. As she sat there, she absent-mindedly played with her engagement ring, wishing things could be less complicated. She wondered if their lives would have been different if Sonjin weren't part of a powerful family. Time passed quickly, and before she knew it, she had drunk more soju than she intended. Feeling slightly intoxicated, she struggled to stand and made her way outside to find a cab. As she stood there checking her phone, a Korean man approached her, grabbed her hand, and asked why she was alone at night. Startled, she told him that she was waiting for a cab and asked him to let go. The man laughed and insisted that he could take her home. When she declined, he attempted to pull her toward his car. Before she could react, Wubin appeared and firmly grabbed the man's wrist, ordering him to let go. Frightened, the man immediately ran away. Wubin turned to Minsu, noticing her drunken state, and asked why she was out drinking alone. She replied that he had refused to join her, so she had no choice but to go alone. Without another word, he opened his car door and told her to get in, saying he would take her back to school.